What is the strangest unsolved mystery? The murders of billionaires Barry and Honey Sherman found dead in their mansion in Toronto by their realtor. They were found with their necks tied, fully clothed on their pool deck with no signs of a break-in. Well-known philanthropists, Barry was in the pharmaceutical industry and they donated millions annually to multiple charities. The police originally believed it was a murder-suicide and didn't pursue other leads. The family launched a private investigation that found the evidence didn't support that theory and thus proved police incompetence. As the public became more interested, it was discovered there was a whole family dispute over inherited shares of the Apotex company. The Shermans' nieces and nephews had launched lawsuit over their right to inherit shares which they lost and most accepted. The Shermans' children hired private investigators because of the inept Toronto police. It uncovered an unknown man leaving the property around the time of the murders. The case is fascinating and is the subject of multiple podcasts, a book, and movie. Houston TX Lovers Lane murders. During the summer of 1990, 22-year-old Cheryl Henry met 21-year-old Andy Atkinson through friends at Yucatan Liquor. Andy was home for the summer from Stephen F. Austin State University and the two started dating. On August 22, 1990, the two, who had been dating now for around 2 weeks, had planned a double date with Cheryl's younger sister Shane. Each couple went their separate ways to continue the night. Shane said she kissed her sister goodnight and told her "I love you" around 11:30 p.m. It was what they always did. But when Shane woke up in the morning, Cheryl still wasn't home. And over at Andy's house, he also hadn't returned home. Both families contacted the police. A search was conducted for the couple and for the car they were in, Andy's white Honda Civic. In the early evening of August 23, Houston police located Andy's car after a guard who was doing a sweep of an industrial area called it in. It was parked in an isolated cul-de-sac on Enclave Road, an area often used as a lover's lane. When police approached the car, it was clear something awful had happened. The windows were rolled down. The key was still in the ignition. The seats were laid back and a cassette was in the dash. On the floorboard of the passenger side was a woman's shoes and purse. But most chillingly, there were fresh signs of blood in the car. Just before midnight, the dogs led police to an area roughly 200 yards from Andy's car. A golf club and 3 golf balls seemed to have been purposefully placed, pointing to pieces of a rotting cedar fence on the ground. Police looked under the pieces of fence, and found the body of Cheryl. She was face down. Her clothes had been cut off and tossed near her remains. Her hands were bound behind her back with hemp rope. She had been sexually assaulted and her throat was slashed with 3 gashes. Near her body was also a $20 bill. The search continued for Andy. The next morning, about 100 yards from Cheryl's body in the tree line, authorities discovered Andy's body. He was fully clothed with his back against a tree and his hands bound, like Cheryl's. And like Cheryl, his throat had also been slashed. But the slash was so deep he was nearly decapitated. His watch and money were still on his person, ruling out the possibility of robbery as the primary motive. After 32 years, this mystery is still unsolved. To me, the disappearance of an extra from Scarface. Tammy Lynn Leppert went missing after a few days of shooting a scene for the film. I think she was the girl Manny flirts with before he shoots up the motel to save Tony, but apparently she was behaving really erratically at home. She left her mother's house on the morning of July 6, '83, likely to keep shooting, and was never seen again. She was 18 when she disappeared. I always thought the mysterious green children from Woolpit was interesting. The legend of the Green Children of Woolpit concerns 2 children of unusual skin color who reportedly appeared in the village of Woolpit in Suffolk, England, sometime in the 12th century, perhaps during the reign of King Stephen. The children, brother and sister, were of generally normal appearance except for the green color of their skin. They spoke in an unknown language and would eat only raw broad beans. Eventually, they learned to eat other food and lost their green color, but the boy was sickly and died soon after his sister was baptized. The girl adjusted to her new life, but she was considered to be rather loose and wanton in her conduct. After she learned to speak English, the girl explained that she and her brother had come from a land where the sun never shone. According to one version of the story, she said that everything there was green. According to another, she said it was called St. Martin's Land. I am assuming the kids suffered from some sort of nutritional deficiency, but the story is interesting either way. On December 4, 1872, a British-American ship called the Mary Celeste was found empty and drifting in the Atlantic. It was found to be seaworthy and with its cargo intact, except for a lifeboat, which it appeared had been boarded in an orderly fashion. No one knows what happened to the crew or why they left the ship. Thank you for watching. Leave a like and comment for more videos like this.